How did Canva even manage to become the SEO and AI search giant that we all know and probably use right now? This is exactly the topic I'm gonna cover in this video, and the reason is quite simple. I see way too many SaaS companies that are not succeeding with SEO, they're not succeeding with AI search visibility, simply because they are following the wrong steps. I would like to help them solve that situation, so let's dive in. Quick intro, I'm Artur, I'm a senior AEO strategist here at Scalerrs. I've been doing content strategies, SEO, and AEO for 4 years. Our strategies are entirely aimed to make businesses grow their AI search visibility, to attract traffic that is gonna convert. And one of the most recent examples is Morgan, a daily planner, which went from 4,000 monthly traffic to over 40,000 monthly traffic in 6 months, and their daily sign-ups increased by 125%. So hopefully after this Canva SEO case study, other SaaS companies watching these videos are gonna be able to replicate the success that one of our clients, Morgan, achieved. Without further ado, let's dive in. During this video, I will cover just the 3 main aspects, starting from one of their hubs, feature hub structure, going to the create hub structure, and then we're gonna also focus on how they managed to localize their service pages. We will cover also the navbar and footer structure, and I think that's it for the video because I don't wanna make you stay too long, but in case you would like the entire playbook of Canva, you can always access it on our website. Just go to Scalerrs and download it from there. I will also drop a link in the comments down below. So let's dive in. First step, quick overview of Canva history. It was created, currently the valuation is over 40 billion, over 150 million active users, but I'm pretty sure that if you check this right now, the users have increased even further. They have been massively rolling out these Canva AI features. They're handy, and it's a clear sign that the website is growing. Now, let's focus also on the SEO results. See the organic traffic back in 2020 was around 40 million organic visitors, and now they are over 340 million visitors. Referring domains happened the same, they skyrocketed, and out of Canva 335 million organic traffic, 48.8 million comes from US alone. India, then Brazil, then Mexico, and Indonesia. About backlinks, Canva has 3.6 million backlinks. 32 million are do follow. Definitely a good percentage of do follow. Let's focus on the traffic and how it's distributed. Currently 335 organic visitors and 310 million, so it's roughly 90%, between 85 and 90% come from just 1,600 pages. Here you can see some of those pages. The secret sauce of Canva has been a heavy product marketing. Every keyword that we're targeting, every topic, every page was heavily tied back to one of the service offered by Canva. So they were not creating pages for the sake of creating pages. They were always going back to a product offered by Canva. This was the paramount of their strategy. They built this on a strong multilingual SEO that we're gonna check in the next steps. But before we do that, let's focus on one of the hubs of Canva, which was the paramount of their success, the one that I'm using the most, which is the template hub structure. Now, just tell me if somebody of you has never used a template by Canva. A template for Instagram, for LinkedIn, for banner, for YouTube banner. We all use at least one of these templates. Let's start from the first message. As you can see, it's super short, powerful, instantly tells you what the page is about, and the word free adds massive value because people are actively searching for free templates. Who doesn't like free things, right? Plus, it's great for SEO. Then how can we skip this search bar? This is a powerful element to make the user experience better, and they place it in the hero section, which is a thing that makes the page not only user-friendly, but it also supports long-tail SEO and keeps people active on your website. Now, let's start focusing also on the internal linking structure. As you can see up here, they put a lot of categories. After the hero section, they 31 plus categories. And if you click on one of these categories, you are redirected to a subcategory. For example, if you click on logos, you will go to the subcategory of logos, which you can see over here. I will not cover in this video because otherwise it's gonna be lasting forever. But the benefit of this is that it has a subcategory. This creates an internal link trail that it's perfectly connected. So not only they optimize the internal linking of the website, but they also build a strong topical authority. Because if you have a website that offers 100 solid logo templates, 100 solid video templates. Every subcategory builds topical authority and users can easily navigate through it naturally. So it's all about SEO, UX, product-led growth, and it's all integrated in the same smart section. Before I move to the next part, let's focus also on the footer. This is a great example of footer to follow, but we're gonna be covering it into detail in this last bits. So stay with me till the end, where I'm gonna be talking about the footer. Now, we have many other template hubs. The logic they follow is more or less the same. For example, if you go to the feature landing page structure, you can find also the breadcrumbs. Here you can find a search bar powered by their AI tools, and they feature anchor text even along the text. This always to build internal link, to make search engines understand how the website is structured, to pass link authority, and to build topical authority. So I highly encourage, in case you want to create a product page, to use Canva as a good example of how a landing page, a hub page, can be structured. We have many other hubs covered. I will leave them to you so you can analyze the performance. But before I move to the next part, I almost forgot to cover the performance of the template hub structure, because it's great to know how it's done, but how is it performing? Well, you can see that when I started using Canva back in December 2020, so it was down here, traffic was around 600,000 probably. Now it is around 5 million, probably now has increased even further because this study has been done a few months ago. So now the traffic is probably even higher, but you can see that the growth has been exponential, and these are the main keywords that the hub is able to target. Canva templates, of course, branded one, but also flower background, vision board plate, Christmas background. So these keywords that are targeted by the templates, and they have a template for everything you need. Important thing to notice, none of these templates are junk. They are all templates for something, be even AI generated, but as long as they are AI generated and useful for the final audience, you should create those. Okay, now it's time to focus on one of the aspects that made Canva great when it comes to their SEO strategy, which is the localization of their pages. Over here you can see a comparison between the Flyer English version page and Flyer French version. And here you can see some things immediately. Let's start from the H1, the subheading, and the CTA. Print custom flyers becomes flyer personnalisé, créez gratuitement et imprimez votre prospect en ligne. Sorry for my broken French, I try my best. But what you can see here is that the H1 is definitely different from this one. And the same thing is over here. It's not just a translation. It's a translation on top of localization, because they know that the audience in the two markets are going to be different. So don't do the mistake of just copying and pasting and translating, but adapt your text for your target audience. You must always adapt your pages to the local search terms, but at the same time, you cannot forget about user engagement. As you can see, they still include the CTA over here, because the goal of their pages is always the engagement and the conversion of the users. Now, let's dive into the second part of their localized pages, which are the categories. As you can see, the categories here are not the same. Advertising, business campaign, publicité, entreprise campaign. Okay, they are the same, the categories, but the content inside the categories is actually different. And not only the content is different, of course, but also the title of the category is different. They localize the categories. For example, here is publicité, and in English is advertising. Business becomes entreprise. So they help Google index the page for relevant regional search terms. This is one of the key things that you should do when you are creating two product pages that are very similar in content, but they are still talking to two different audiences. Otherwise, you just risk cannibalizing your pages. Conversion-oriented CTA, always here. About the features section, they follow the same thing. Features include thousands of free templates. The French version includes the same features, but localized, as you can see, between thousands of free templates and this version over here. Focusing on the steps guide, also here, they are translated carefully and localized for their audience. So it's not just a copy-pasted translation, but it's actually an adaptation to the local needs. One detail that is the same here is the product-led screenshot. Probably they considered both screenshots relevant for the English-speaking audience and the French-speaking audience, so they left it over there. Sometimes leaving what you have is fine, as long as it's going to be understood by your target audience. Let's focus on the FAQs. As you can see, they are localized for the French and for the English markets, and these are very interesting because they help the user feel in their environment. Imagine you are a Spanish speaking person and suddenly you find yourself just on an English page. Yeah, you can understand something. Of course, you will understand something because in these days almost everybody speaks English, but still there are some things that make you feel out of place, and being able to read that in your mother language is gonna make you feel better. Therefore, the conversion rate can increase. And on top of that, let's talk about pure SEO. Using localized frequently asked questions are gonna help your page rank for that keyword in a given market. Now let's focus on a section that is often forgotten by the clients that we help with SEO. I'm talking about the related resources section and related use cases section. As you can see between the two versions, let me zoom out, they included this section on both, but they're localized resources, and here it's more resources. Here is shop more products. Anyways, I think the typo, but I'm not native French speaker, so let me know if this is a typo or not. They're localized and they are still very handy to help Google understand the content structure and boosting page crawling. So don't underestimate the power of these sections. Many clients do not add them. We suggest them to add, and their performance goes way better after that. Footer, I will leave it for the next stage. Now let's focus on the performance. The charts speak on their own. Huge growth here, so this model works. And these are just some of the keywords that they are ranking for on the flyers template hub. This is for the English speaking markets. This is for the French speaking markets. They are simply dominating this niche. Now let's focus on the localization aspects. For example, categories. English version is shop flyers by popular categories. In French, it's going to be explorer non le design des flyers prêt à l'emploi. Anyways, so it's different. The structure, especially here, look at this. List steps. This one is just with 2 words less. Localized instructions improve clarity and relevance for each language. So please, as I told you before, if you want to target different markets with the same products, make them localized. That's the best way to get out of it. Or even better, hire an Arabic language manager or a French language manager. Do not underestimate the importance of these roles. They are crucial to increase conversions and to get discovered by the right audience with your product pages. Okay, if you have been watching this breakdown until this point, it means that you are really serious to grow your company with SEO and answer everywhere optimization. In case that is the case, just send us a message, because we help SaaS grow with SEO, attract quality traffic, increase the amount of leads, and we do this with SEO, Reddit, Wikipedia, YouTube, and link building. So we know how to cover the entire spectrum of content marketing, excluding social media. And in case you want to start growing your inbound SEO channels to drive qualified signups, just book a demo with us. We're going to be always happy to have a chat with you. Now, let's go back to the tutorial. For the last part of the video, let's focus on the page structure of the homepage. Now, listen, why are we covering the homepage? Because many businesses, they underestimate the power of the homepage, but that is the entry point to your website, and it's going to be most likely the page with the highest amount of links. Therefore, the one is going to be the page that search engines, AI search engines, and traditional search engines are going to trust the most. So let's cover the homepage overview in this part. Here is the H1. Canva kicks things off with a friendly question, and the lesson you can get from it is ask provoking questions on your own website to engage visitors and motivate them to explore further. So this question tactic is a very interesting one. Subtitle, they keep their value proposition short and direct. They let users know exactly what they can do with their product in a sentence. The CTA is always there. Use a simple, direct one that guides users smoothly toward the next step. And here it starts the core offering. Offer it in a clear way, encourage immediate action, and even if you don't have so many tools like Canva does, include related services, related categories, because it's going to improve the internal linking of your website and also the user engagement. Here you can find how Canva offers their plan, and you can find a clear breakdown of the plans without many words. They just tell you for who is gonna be and what you should do to start. Just start free pro trial. Down here they feature a note, and they always catch the opportunity to include some internal links. Internal links are precious and always undervalued. Don't do that. Follow the Canva example. Your website is going to benefit out of it, and your business as a consequence. Here it starts the internal linking. Actually, it keeps going the internal linking. These are all the categories that their website has. They feature it over here. You click and you're redirected. Use internal links strategically to drive engagement, and it's going to enhance your SEO performance, and the user navigation. Here you can find a very interesting example of a mini landing page with a preview of their launched product, the AI, with a description, with a CTA, and as I mentioned before, also with internal links. Canva does not waste internal links opportunities, and here is a proof of that. This is another example. It's related to a feature of Canva. Same logic of above, a heading, a sub explaining the benefits, a CTA with internal links. Down here you can find the benefit, the biggest benefit that a user can get by using Canva. Here they show the benefit. I like this method, but I would honestly prefer what it is without Canva and what it is with Canva, the before versus after comparison, but also this one works. Trust signal, this is a powerful thing. Canva includes it. So imagine whether a smaller brand should include it or not. Of course, you should include it, even if you are a giant like HubSpot, like Canva. This is another aspect that is quite easy to achieve because we have many products doing this. This is a new feature that is getting launched. They use a heading and then they embed a video to give the anticipation of that product, to make the user more engaged and just anticipate what they can get by choosing Canva. Especially if you are launching a new feature or you have a feature that you know that others don't have, why don't you highlight it on your homepage? Don't waste any real estate space because the user needs to be convinced that you are a good solution for their problem. Now let's cover the almost last section of this case study, which is the navbar and footer structure. What Canva does is when they create the design spotlight menu, here they include everything that is related to design, visual suits, docs, presentation. So the key takeaway here is organize your services into simple categories to make it easier for users and search engines to find what they're looking for. Don't make them waste time. We don't have much time. Nobody has a lot of time, and we don't want to spend 10 minutes figuring out how to find the solution, right? This is a very interesting feature of Canva nav menu. They also include 2 visual CTAs here, and these buttons drive users straight to their core features. So the suggestion here is don't just showcase your products, but give clear CTAs that lead users directly to them in the header categories. If you move to the other aspect, which is the business one, you will find that Canva divides in Canva Enterprise, Canva Teams, and Contact Sales, and here they use icons to improve the UX. About the language that they use, here you will notice how simple the language is. For business solutions, they use marketing, creatives, agencies, sales, communication, use cases, content creation, brand management. So they use a simple language used by their audience without any complex terminology. They want to make the navigation simple. About the education, here the situation is quite similar. To make the navigation easier, they use these icons. Higher education, they use the institution. Students, they use the backpack, and they embed also the CTA when it's relevant, because here we are talking about becoming an education creator. Why not to feature a CTA over here instead of making people find this out in other pages? It's a perfect location for this, and they embedded a CTA in the nav menu. Similar thing over here in the plans and pricing. They make it quite big here, the free plan, the pro plan, the teams, the enterprise, so the user experience is easy, the terminology is simple, and they include also visual CTAs, visuals as soft CTAs. Learn Hub is quite similar, icons, simple terminology, but let's focus more on the footer because many clients asked us about the footer. I believe that Canva is a great example of footer. A well-organized footer improves navigation and overall user experience, but it also supports SEO by linking to important pages of your website. What you should do is implement a language selector on your site so you can talk to a global audience by following the example I showed you before with the English and French comparison. Do not forget about the privacy policy and legal terms. The footer is the perfect place where to fit it, and include social media links. They contribute to a better user experience, brand authority, and these are all factors that Google loves. Last aspect to cover is the link building. Canva would not achieve what they achieved without a solid backlinking strategy. If you want to dominate competitive niches, you need to invest in backlinks. There is no way around it, unfortunately. This is the overview of Canva recent link building profile. Super solid, 355,000 referring domains and 917,000 all-time referring domains. To achieve what they achieved, Canva had to attract links from top-notch websites, and here are some of the examples: LinkedIn, GitHub, Shopify, Medium, GoDaddy, Fiverr, nailpatel.com. So the websites have a super strong DR. These are authorities, these are celebrities in front of Google, and they link back to a celebrity website. So if you want to make your website a celebrity, and you should attract links from other celebrity websites. Simple as that. Here are some examples of links. Let's focus, for example, on this coming from a HubSpot blog, how to start a business, a startup guide for entrepreneurs. They place it over here on a relevant page surrounded by relevant text, and you must achieve the same. Please, if you want to do a link building campaign, make sure that you are placing your links on websites that are not shady, that they are growing, that they are related to your niche, but most importantly, these links must be placed on pages talking about things related to your business, and the anchor text should be surrounded by relevant text. Now, because Canva is an international website, what they did was to build links even to their localized pages. For example, here, the flyer, this link goes to the French version of the page. Most likely this was about the flyer template, the French version of flyer template. Do the same in case you don't want to leave any local product pages behind. What are the secrets of Canva and their way of earning backlinks? They create valuable tools. This is the first thing you should do. They solve real user problems. They product-led pages that people love to share, and content is useful, evergreen, and easy to reference. Don't create AI slop in a nutshell. So, the key takeaways after 30 minutes of tutorial. Thank you so much for hanging until here. In case you stood with us till this point, please like and subscribe to our channel. It's gonna help us a lot. And many of the viewers of this video are not subscribers to our channel, so please do that. Be different. Thank you. Anyways, key takeaways. Here are some of the main one. Canva product and Canva content go hand in hand. As you have seen, Canva is not just building random landing pages, they're blending their product inside the content. That's why it works so well. Internal links are crucial, don't underestimate their power. SEO and conversion rate optimization, they must be combined. That's why they include the CTAs, that's why they include the icons in the nav menu. They solve real problems, so try to solve real problems that sometimes overlap with real keywords, but don't do the other way around. Don't target keywords that do not correspond to a real problem. Never do that. Otherwise, you're just gonna, in the best scenario, you're gonna build traffic that is useless. In the worst scenario, you will damage your website because search engines will understand that you are trying to build authority in things that do not belong to your expertise. Templates are their traffic machine. That's why we love to include templates and tools suggestions for our clients. They did a solid programmatic SEO. They turn simple ideas into tons of pages, like the landing pages I showed you. They are heavily relying on user-generated content. I didn't cover these aspects so far, but yeah, many of the templates that Canva has, probably all, are generated by users. If you have the chance to do that, it's less effort for you, more benefits for the users, more enjoyment for them, and you're gonna also grow your website way quicker. And last but not least, natural backlinks, not forced. Take time, SEO takes time, AI search visibility takes time, but if you follow these suggestions and you are patient, the investment is gonna pay back. But you need to be patient. You need to put quality on top of everything. Well, that's the end of this video. Thanks for reading. In case you enjoyed this content, like the video, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel because you know how much it's gonna help us grow. And in case you are interested in growing your inbound SEO and AI channels, don't hesitate to reach us out. Wishing you a great day. Bye.